Yo, welcome back to 999 with Justin, a new one. We are picking back up here with Santa holding the gun, and, well, let's continue. He doesn't need to verify to go through that door, but...
Hey, what's your plan, Santa? What are you doing?
He can't get through any numbered doors with just two people. What the hell is he thinking?
Didn't I tell you? I'm Santa Claus. It's time for me to go make a wish come true.
What? And now the gate's shut. Alright. At least Seven's headache is gone.
Damn.
Nope.
Well...
You mean we're
So it would seem.
And the final key to this puzzle that we've still yet to find out is how she plays into all this. I mean, we know she's the parent of, I can't remember which children she said were hers, but she's the parent of some of the children.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh, what?
Have you considered where we are? There can really only be one thing Santa would do now.
No, you can't be serious.
Oh, but he is. We've got to do something. There's the red. Not gonna work. There's no way. Five of us can't open this door.
Junpei, can I borrow your pen and notebook?
Alright, yep. Good. She'll do this. Ever again? Alright, and I'm guessing the answer is no. Yeah.
What the hell are you doing, Clover? Give me that!
You know what she was writing.
What? And there's no other way?
It's okay.
Lotus.
Come on, you know we can't do...
Oh, don't give me that. I'm sure you'd love to get rid of me.
God damn it, you idiot! Without... If you're not... Look, it'd be bad, alright?
Bad?
If the...
Uh-huh.
Look, I'm just not leaving you
What
behind,
the world are you
alright?
carrying on about?
Seven.
He's right. I'm not leaving.
Me too.
You didn't honestly.
Yeah, well...
That being said...
Yeah, no kidding.
I
So,
doubt we would
Snake,
be
can
able
we
to
think
open the
this
door
through anyway?
Even if we...
Yeah.
Huh?
I trust you remember. I couldn't, see. I was able to guess what he...
Oh, yeah.
So, either it's actually set to a different number,
That digital
or-
should be not... Then why?
Just
or
to see.
it just doesn't open,
Give it a
period.
shot.
Yes, that...
And... Nope.
You were
So,
right.
either it doesn't open at all, or it's, once again, not actually set
But it
to
did open
that.
9 years ago. The digital room was 9 then, I'm sure of it.
You think maybe they changed the settings?
Perhaps.
Well, what other option? Well... Yeah, get into the whole Stereo 09 with it. Guess this is it. I was watching. I had watched everything that was reflected in his eyes. I was listening. Every sound that vibrated in his eardrums, I heard. Smell, taste, touch, I felt everything he felt. I knew everything about him. What he was thinking, what he was feeling, what he was sensing. All of his feelings and worries and fears became mine. My mind, my consciousness was inside of him. Through the morphic field set, we were resonant, and we were as one. I was him, and at the same time, I was an observer. It started with a tremendous noise like a clap of thunder. That was approximately 9 hours ago. A bomb had gone off on the ship we were on. That was when my resonance with him began. My resonant event melted into him and we became one. Instead of Junpei, somehow I found myself in Junpei's mind 9 years in the future. But I didn't lose I didn't lose myself. I was living in two realities at once. One was the present and the other was the future. Perhaps you can think of it as two movies showing on the same screen at the same time. Eventually it becomes difficult to separate them and determine which movie is which. However, if I concentrated, I was able to focus on one or the other. That was why I was able to grasp what was happening in front of me.
Come on, over here!
So this is June speaking through time. That was my brother Oi. He was yelling. I followed him. Around me were 7 other children. They all looked like they were about my age.
Hurry up!
We ran down a long straight hallway and burst into the large hospital room. And was it, like last time, missing its piece? Everyone was arguing. 2 of the boys got in a fist fight. A girl watching them began to cry. I want to go home, she cried. I want to go home. Another girl slapped the crying girl and glared down at her. It has been 2 hours since the nonary game began. We were starting to fall apart, but just when all hope seemed lost, Light started talking. He was blind. 9 years later, we would call him Snake.
Hello, everyone? Could you come over here for a moment?
He was older than most of us, and his voice had authority and dignity. The fights died down and we gathered around him.
I have a little sister. She is very important to me. Right now, she is over in Building Q, and is desperately trying to send information over to me. Her name is Clover, and today is her 9th birthday.
As he spoke, he pulled something from his pocket. Ah, interesting. In his hand were 9 4-leaf clovers.
I was going to give these to her as a birthday present. I was outside picking them when I was abducted. I'm sure I've already told you, but I am blind. For a man who can't see, collecting 9 of a very specific plant is... well, it is difficult. But my sister means a great deal to me. And I hope that these would show her how much I cared for her. Since it's her 9th birthday, I thought 9 4-leaf clovers would be appropriate. Every one of you has a brother or a sister in Building Q with Clover.
So it would appear that Akane and June were the same person. Akane and Santa were keeping their relationship secret.
We have to survive. If we're going to do that, there are 3 things you have to remember. We need trust and love, and we have to have faith in one another. If we can take all 3 of those to heart, then I promise that good luck will come our way. Did you know that the leaves on the 4-leaf clover mean faith, trust, love, and luck? Those words are leaf words. So if you believe what I've told you, and you understand, then I want you each to have one of these.
He gave a clover to each of us. I took one too. Eventually he was left with only a single 4-leaf clover. He had one last thing to say.
Don't ever forget. So long as you have that, we will always be connected. Do you understand?
When he finished, the tension of only a few minutes before was gone. We were calm. After that, we ran around the ship for a while longer and opened several of the numbered doors until we finally found a door with the number 9 on it. In fact, there were 2 doors with 9 on them, and we found them in the chapel. We split into 2 groups and walked through the doors. Before long, we all found ourselves in a room with a ceiling that looked like an upside-down funnel. For some reason, this room had another number 9, but this time it was the only one. But if there was only one door, that meant only 5 people could escape.
What are we gonna do? There aren't any other doors.
We began to panic. Then, as if things had not gotten bad enough already...
Warning. Emergency incineration command has automatic incineration. Please evacuate. Repeat, emergency
What? What's happening? What did that thing say? That didn't sound...
My brother Aoi swallowed hard and answered.
It means this room is gonna burn.
Burn!
The plaque on the door says incinerator, and that voice said that the incineration is about to start.
No! Help me!
Abject terror filled the room as everyone began to scream and cry. Every pair of eyes were filled with despair. Then, high up on the wall, a door opened and a man appeared. He was a huge, frightening mountain of a man, as large as a bear. 9 years later, we would call him 7.
Don't worry, kids. I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you.
The rest happened just like 7 had said it did. The 4 of us who had stayed behind were saved by 7. We crawled through the vent, away from the incinerator, and slid down into the hall. So we're going to find out when exactly she got taken by Ace. We came out on the other side of door 9. On the wall opposite the door was a set of double doors. We went through those and began to run up the spiral stairs. Wait, so it was he somehow managed... As we ran, I led the way! How in the world? Behind me were Nona, my brother Aoi, Snake, and 7. The other children, the ones who'd gone through door 9 before us, were up ahead. I could hear them cheering each other on. We ran and ran and ran. We leapt across as many stairs as we could and kept running. The stairs spiraled upward like a tornado. Eventually, I pulled ahead of the rest. Perhaps Nona had slowed them down. I didn't want to lose them, so I slowed down as well. I didn't stop, but I glanced over my shoulder from time to time to see if they had caught up. That was when I realized...
Oh, where is it? Did I drop Jumpy's present?
I knew I had it with me when we passed through the vent. Then had I dropped it as we slid out? I had to go back. I had to! But I knew I couldn't tell the others. They would stop me, I was sure of that. I didn't stop to think, I simply moved. I ran to the central hall, the room that connected to all the other areas of the ship. I hid in the shadows, and moments later I felt a rush of wind as they ran past me up the staircase. Akane! I waited until they were out of sight, and then I ran. I moved as quietly as I could, down and down and down. Finally, I reached the bottom deck. I ran into the hallway and looked around frantically.
There it is!
It was just where I thought it would be, sitting under the opening of the vent. I ran over and snatched it from the floor, but as I ran back toward the stairs in freedom... Bum bum bum! The door to the incinerator opened, and a man stepped out. It was Hongo. Gentaro Hongo. 9 years later, we would call him Ace.
How wonderful to see you decided to come back.
His smile made my blood run cold. It looked mechanical, as if someone had simply pulled up the corners of his mouth.
Come with me. We must continue the experiment.
I shook my head, eyes wide. Slowly, I began to walk backwards, and that's where you made your mistake. That was time to immediately turn heel and run. Then I spun around and broke into a run, and it was too late. Yep.
I said, come with me.
There was an edge of insanity to his voice now. I pulled as hard as I could.
Stop! Let go of me! Let go!
I shook my body and flailed my arms, trying desperately to get Hongo to let go of me. But I was still only a child. I was no match for a man like
Stop
Hongo.
struggling, goddammit! Do as I tell you!
He heaved on my arm, trying to pull me into the incinerator. I screamed.
Somebody help me!
Then, suddenly, the door to the stairs flew open, and my brother Aoi burst out of it. Behind him came 7 and Snake, but, as we already know, they are too late.
You came back!
But then,
You're too late.
Hongo threw his full weight against my arm, pulling us both into the incinerator. The force of it threw me to the floor. I scrambled to my feet and looked toward the open door, number 9 door. Hongo stood between it and me, but behind him I could see my brother, his fists clenched. But those fists never reached Hongo. Yep. And then, with the cold, heartless screech of metal on metal, the door slammed shut. Hongo glanced at me mechanically, his face registering that there was an object there, but not anything he would consider a human being. Then he turned away and walked to the red that sat next to the door. He reached into his pocket and removed 2 bracelets. He waved them both over the scanner panel. 2 asterisks appeared on the red. He checked the screen, then tossed the bracelets carelessly onto the floor. What was he doing? What was the point? He made no effort to explain himself, of course. He said nothing at all and walked past me as though I were nothing more than a rock by the roadside. A few moments later... the 2 other doors slid shut as well. Faintly, I could hear someone pounding on the door behind me. I turned around and ran toward the door with the 9.
Akane! Akane!
I could hear a voice from the other side of the door. A worried, frightened voice.
Help me!
My throat was already raw, but I screamed as loud as I could. My voice echoed lonely around the empty room.
What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here!
Where's Hongo?
He went out the other door!
What?
Then it started again.
Warning, warning.
Yep, the 18-minute.
Emergency incineration will begin in 18 minutes.
Interesting.
Evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Oh, man, I knew what he was gonna say, but this is one hell of a creepy voice.
I knew it!
It's starting.
Santa started the incinerator.
Fuck! Man, I never thought I'd hear that damn voice again after.
What the hell? What the hell? It's not.
Oh, she's not been let in on any of this,
I'm sorry,
apparently.
Lotus, but we really don't have to
Yeah.
this. I'll tell you every.
But.
Incineration will begin. 17.
Alright,
I know
time
what
to
that means,
figure
right?
out what the deal is with the
Incinerate
door.
means- what kind of idiot do you think?
Yeah.
I am? Well, god damn it.
Okay, fine, I
don't
wanna
have
see
anything
anything else.
But you have to do something for me.
What? What?
Just shut up.
How the hell?
There has to be some sort of.
There isn't any.
How the hell do you?
Because I looked for it 9.
Yeah, Lotus isn't happy about that. Can't really blame her. Wait. The floor, it's moving. Alright, well that's new. Oh, what in the world is this? What else can I say about
What the
it,
hell
but...
is that?
Yeah, really.
What is that?
Ah, so Akane saw this too. What else could I say? The floor opened and a machine rose up out of it. It looked like a computer. At least it kind of did. There was a monitor, a keyboard, and a cross-shaped device of some kind. Something about the machine scared me, but I forced myself to walk up to it. I was terrified. Tears poured down my face. I wiped them off, even as more took their place, and I forced myself forward. Finally, I reached it. I looked at the screen. It was blank. All I saw was my own frightened face staring back at me from the glass, drenched in tears. All I can see is a reflection of my own face. I'm looking kind of freaked out. I know I'm sweating. Alright, yeah. So, let's... Wish this thing would just shut up.
Incineration 15.
Yeah, it won't. Alright, so... Gotta be important. What the hell am I supposed to do with it?
Hey.
Ah! Hey, we're all tense, lady. That doesn't mean you get to shove people around.
On. There's nothing on the screen though. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad.
Well... Alright, that did do something. Oh, boy! What's on the screen, though?
What is this?
What's up?
It looks like some sort of.
Switch. Numbers and letters scattered across a 5x5 grid. Numbers range from 1 to 8.
Do you think that if we solve this, the incinerator will stop?
Maybe. Alright. Well, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we don't fill all the holes. I have no idea, man! So what?
Incineration will begin. 13.
Alright, 13 minutes. Got it. Shit, 13 minutes. Can we really do this? Meanwhile, Akane, my heart was pounding like it was about to explode. I stared at the puzzle on the screen. I was sure I had to solve it somehow, but I had no idea how. My connection to Jumpy had been gone for a while. Huh. Why would she have been... Ah! So, they were incorrect then. At least in this case, Akane was being a transmitter didn't mean that she was getting knowledge she was able to send that way remotely as much as she was able to use that to use a receiver to gain knowledge for herself and then also transmit it back. Although, why would it have cut off? I felt the seconds tick by as I stared at the screen, completely lost. My cheeks felt hot as tears poured over them. Then I heard a voice.
Hey, what are you doing?
It was muffled. I turned around. Pressed against the window in the entry door was a face. A frightening, evil face. It was Hongo. How long had he been watching me?
Don't know what to do.
He was yelling, but his voice was still muffled.
It's simple, really. But I suppose I might as well tell you. Just solve the puzzle on that machine.
His laughter was muffled by the door, but it still tore at my heart like the claws of a vicious monster. I bit my lip and glared at Hongo, struggling to hold back hot tears.
You're a terrible person! I hate you!
Oh, my. How could you call a gentleman such as myself a terrible person? That's not very nice.
It's also not really that big of an insult in English. Maybe that made more sense in Japanese.
I'm quite fair. I don't use tricks or play dirty. You see? I've even left you a way out.
A way out?
Didn't you hear me? All you have to do is solve that puzzle. Do that, and you can stop the incinerator.
What's the point of stopping it? You'll only capture me and make me do this all again. I'm not going to listen to you. If you're just going to throw me back in here, I might as well just die now.
My goodness, haven't you listened to anything I've said? I told you, I'm a fair man.
Huh?
If you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will in turn activate. If this experiment is to deliver valid results, there must be a chance of success. If you succeed, you will escape.
The verification function.
Then I remembered. Before Hongo left the room, he had scanned 2 bracelets into the red.
Ah, so you do remember. Right now there are 2 numbers in the red. The first is 1, and the second is 3. Say, Akane, what's your number?
I looked down at my left hand. The face on my bracelet showed a 5. I ran to the door with a 9 on it, and... yeah, it shouldn't have been doing that.
You really aren't one for listening, are you?
Yeah, apparently.
I've already told you, didn't I? Once you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will activate. In other words, if you haven't solved the puzzle, you can't enter your number. What kind of fool are you?
Why are you doing this?
You could never understand. You don't know what it's like to spend every day surrounded by monkeys. Now start the experiment. Solve the puzzle.
I can't!
Of course you don't. Isn't that the point? You understand, don't you? Access the morphogenetic field and find the solution.
I can't!
Then you'll die. You'll burn alive. I imagine it will be very painful.
His horrible laugh echoed across the room, and even after his face disappeared from the window, I could hear it.
Incineration 10.
So it definitely seems like she's the one in control of her access to Junpei. I was crying, great gulping sobs broken by hiccups that shook my body. I was terrified. I could feel my fear pressing down on me like a tremendous weight. Somehow I forced my shaking legs to carry me back to the device. I stared at the monitor.
I can't. I just can't. There's no way. I can't figure this out.
Then start trying randomly! What was I gonna do? I didn't know. I didn't even know where to start. Fear scattered my thoughts, and all I could think of was how I was going to die. My palms were sweating, my knees were weak, arms are heavy, and my blood was boiling in my veins. It was hot, so hot. I couldn't breathe. I felt dizzy. My heart roared in my chest as if it would pound itself to pieces. Alright, nope, we're still in Akane vision. So, is she gonna access the... wrap my hand around the thing I'd come back to get? Oh, the doll he had given me. At least I had that. I held it tight with both hands and prayed.
Help me, Jumpy! Help me! Jumpy! Please help me! Jumpy!
What really doesn't make sense about this, though, is... shouldn't that mean that the timeline says that if we succeed here, we always succeeded here? Which means, why did we do this? Whatever. We'll see.
Akane?
Who the hell is Akane?
Alright.
Shut up, just shut
She
the hell
still
up.
doesn't know. Seven and Lotus don't understand. I think Clover and Snake have an idea, though. And I think Snake may have figured it out. No, it doesn't matter. They're in my way. Where'd she go? Maybe over here.
Akane!
Did someone break our connection?
Akane! Answer me! Akane!
Jumpy?
I spun around. Yeah, see, when you're doing this through time nonsense... Paradoxes, people. This is how you get paradoxes. I spun around. I heard a voice. His voice. I looked around. Although, given your ages, shouldn't it be his post-pubescent voice? So would you really recognize it? Except for, you know, the several hours you've been spending connected with him. But, I digress. I looked around. He wasn't in the room, of course. But I'd heard it so clearly. Like he was right there. I screamed as loud as I could.
Akane!
Alright, so it sounds like... Well, so are they connecting or not? Okay, so yes, they are. Then that means you have only partially reopened it?
Yes, I am! How did you know?
I couldn't believe that he knew that. Now I understand what Santa meant.
There's only one way to help her. You were brought here to help my sister. To save Akane.
I think I get it now.
Incineration will begin. 7.
You still both need to figure it out. As quickly as I could, I told him that I had to solve the puzzle in order to stop the incinerator.
Got it.
And I do. I get everything now. Sure you do. You don't understand the puzzle, though. I know why the Nona game was held today. I know why we were kidnapped and brought here. It was all for this moment. All of this was planned out to lead to this one moment. This is insane. I can't believe there's only one possible answer. June is. Zero is. Yeah, she recreated the history of the future. The history of the future that she had a glimpse of 9 years ago. She tried to save herself that way 9 years ago. No, she's trying to save herself right now, which is why it doesn't make sense. Only one thing for me to do. I will save her. Yeah, so... Alright, so how in the world do we figure out this puzzle? It doesn't look like it makes any sense.
6.
Alright, yep.
Yeah, I know. Just, I'm not gonna let you, so don't worry.
Alright, yep, so let's move.
Okay.
It was hot in the room. I felt like my heart was on fire. 6 minutes or not, my heart burned with my feelings for him. Okay. Grade schooler. Ugh. Alright, time to get to work, Junpei. Is Snake talking to them about something? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Get out of my way!
Hey.
Alright, so
Just trust
let's
me.
figure this out. Sorry, Lois, I didn't mean to snap, but there's a lot more at stake here than your pride. I'll apologize later. Now, let's have a look at this thing. Got numbers all over the grid. Panels are out of order. Switch these out. Ah, okay. So the only one we can't move is apparently the one?
Just think of what I did. I'm gonna do this on my own, with my own mind.
Alright, I had to cut the episode here because this just goes on and on and on. This final ending I shot all in one go, and so this is going to end up being a whole lot of episodes because there's just a ton of additional content. And because of the way that I ended up cutting the recordings, I'm actually going to have several times these little breaks in the recording that I have to shoot. An additional scene for, like this. So, thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.
Yo! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and leave a comment so I know you want more videos like this. If you want to know when new uploads arrive, subscribe and hit the bell icon to have YouTube send you a notification. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.